To all my lovely listeners tuning into the story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you never miss out on the latest updates. Chapter 431, Ascending the Chuanjin Sect. Have nothing better to do than travel around looking for delicious food, Hong that Song said with a laugh, no longer inquiring about my Siu Feng's matters. Since that is the case, why doesn't Senior come with me to Mount Zhongnan to witness the Great North Dipper formation of the 7 Immortals of Chuanjin? I personally want to see just how formidable this formation truly is, Duong Loi said, glancing toward Vong Sunat. You want to challenge the Great North Dipper formation of the 7 Immortals? Hong that Song was astonished. He knew Duong Loi's cultivation was not weak, but he hadn't expected the youth to have such grand ambitions. The 7 Immortals of Chuanjin each possessed decent cultivation, although they couldn't stand alone against the best. Their combined formation was something even Hong that Song wouldn't dare face head-on. Indeed, I wish to see it for myself, Duong Loi nodded. In that case, this old man has some free time as well. I'll go and have a look, Hong that Song replied, his interest piqued by Duong Loi's words. This was quite unexpected for Duong Loi. If Hong that Song followed him to the Chuanjin sect, Quach Tin might not have the chance to learn the 18 dragon subduing palms yet. Thus, Hong that Song joined the group. Along the way, Duong Loi and Hong that Song sparred frequently. Duong Loi's martial arts cultivation left Hong that Song in constant shock. Even when using his full strength, he couldn't defeat Duong Loi. This was truly baffling. Even if one began cultivating in the womb, how could they reach such a level at this age? Though he couldn't figure it out, Hong that Song didn't ask much. After all, everyone has their secrets, and in the martial world, inquiring about another's cultivation method was a major taboo. Furthermore, Hong that Song gained a great deal during this journey. Constant sparring with Duong Loi, despite his losses, provided him with immense experience. Duong Loi also benefited greatly, his actual combat experience was lacking. Usually, he relied on the 7-kill wind blade or the little flying dagger. This time, he didn't use the wind blade or the daggers, opting instead for the eagle claw art. However, that felt too monotonous and aggressive, making it hard to restrain. Therefore, Duong Loi relied on basic martial techniques to face Hong that Song, rapidly increasing his combat experience. Most notably, his control over his true qi improved by nearly an entire level. Meanwhile, Vong Sunat was increasingly horrified. This youth's cultivation was terrifying, even northern beggar Hong that Song, one of the 5 greats, couldn't defeat him. Just what level of cultivation had he reached? It was too frightening. It seemed his claim that their grandmaster was nothing special wasn't mere boasting. Today, the prestige of the Chuanjin sect might be utterly lost. Vong Sunat deeply regretted his impulsive words. If he hadn't spoken out, he wouldn't have provoked this death god, and the reputation of Chuanjin wouldn't be at risk. But matters had reached this point, how could he convince the youth to withdraw his challenge? He racked his brain but could think of nothing useful. Duong Loi was also curious why defeating Hong that Song hadn't triggered a mission completion notification. Opening the system to check the fine print, he realized the task required defeating the 5 greats simultaneously. This left Duong Loi speechless. The 5 greats joining forces? How was that possible? Wang Chongyang had been dead for years. How could he defeat a combined force that included a dead man? Was the system cheating him? But then he thought, if the system listed it, did it mean Wang Chongyang wasn't actually dead? If he were alive, it would be possible, but why would he fake his death? It was a mystery, but Duong Loi didn't dwell on it. In the world of the legend of the Condor heroes, all mysteries would eventually be revealed. Mount Zhongnan, Chuanjin sect. Duong Loi's group finally arrived, though not alongside Vong Sunat. Vong Sunat had rushed ahead 2 days prior, while Duong Loi and the others took their time. Inside the great hall of the Chuanjin sect, Vong Sunat was conferring with his fellow sect brothers. Sect leader senior brother, what should we do? That Duong Loi is young, but his cultivation is truly horrific. He is even more powerful than northern beggar Hong that Kong. We might not be able to trap him, Bong Sunat said. Is he really that formidable? Junior brother, are you sure you aren't being deceived? Who is clan leader Hong? He is the leader of the beggar sect, one of the 5 greats of the Central Plains, equal in fame to our master. Even if a youngster started cultivating in the womb, it's impossible to reach that level so quickly. I suspect you were tricked, Cao Suko said, shaking his head. No, I am not lying. I saw it with my own eyes. He is about to arrive. It is my fault for provoking him. Now that the reputation of our entire sect is on the line, what can be done? Bong Sunat was anxious seeing his brother's disbelief. If he is truly that powerful, I want to see for myself how strong this youth is. I'll fight him, Cao Suko declared. Sect leader senior brother, what is your opinion? Hak Dai Thong, who was known for being more thoughtful, asked. Ma Nok spoke up, if junior brother Vong says so, it must be true. If it is, we must be prepared. We cannot let our master down by letting the sect's honor be tarnished. Indeed. However, some of us are in closed-door cultivation or traveling. We don't have all 7 immortals present to form the Great North Dipper Formation. Simply declining the challenge might be a better option, Ma Nok suggested after some thought. If the youth named Duong Loi was truly that formidable, this was their only choice. Just then, Duong Loi's group arrived before the Great Hall. Who dares intrude upon our Chuanjan sect? A Taoist shouted. Go report that Duong Loi and clan leader Hong That Song have arrived, Duong Loi said, having no intention of bullying a common disciple. Chapter 432, discussing the world's current state. Hearing the name of Hong That Song, the Taoist dared not be negligent and rushed inside to report. A few minutes later, several elderly Taoists emerged. Senior Hong. To Duong Loi's surprise, only 4 of them appeared, Ma Nok, Cao Suko, Bong Sunat, and Tun Bat Ni. Normally, the entire sect leadership should have come to greet a guest of Hong That Song's stature. No need for such formalities. I am not the main character here, I've just come to watch the excitement. You should properly greet this young brother here, Hong That Song said, pointing at Duong Loi. Bong Sunat, didn't you want me to experience the Great North Dipper Formation to reclaim your sect's face? I am here. Set up the formation, Duong Loi said, getting straight to the point. This. Young Master Duong, we truly apologize. My junior brother was a bit impulsive, he didn't mean it that way. As for witnessing the Great North Dipper Formation, I'm afraid it is impossible today. Only 4 of the 7 immortals are present, so we cannot form it. We must disappoint you, Ma Nok stepped forward to explain. Is it because people are missing, or because you lack the courage? Duong Loi didn't yield, his tone becoming aggressive. He had a plan, the Chuanjan sect would be a great aid. If he could secure their help, his goals would be much easier to achieve. Their reputation and influence, though not equal to the beggar sect, were still significant. Additionally, he was targeting the beggar sect. With Hong That Song present, he had a chance to win him over. However, convincing him wouldn't be easy, so he wasn't in a rush. He would wait for the right moment. But for the Chuanjan sect, he had to subdue them first. These bull-nosed Taoists were stubborn. If he couldn't convince them now, he had another way, Chu Ba Thong, the old impatient. He was childlike, and Duong Loi had many ways to deal with such a person by offering him new toys. If the 7 immortals proved too difficult, he would go to Peach Blossom Island to recruit Chu Ba Thong, which would be incredibly easy. You, don't be so arrogant. Cao Suko, known for his hot temper, couldn't stand it any longer. Come. The Chuanjan sect fears no one. I, Cao Suko, will play with you. He drew his longsword. Good. But alone, you are not enough. Too weak, Duong Loi said with disdain. Junior brother, don't be impulsive, Ma Nok held Cao Suko back. Hong That Song saw that Duong Loi wasn't giving any face to the Chuanjan sect and felt he should intervene. Young brother Duong, let's discuss this slowly. There will be other opportunities in the future, right? Fine. For Senior Hong's sake, I will not press the matter further. Since Hong that Song had spoken, Duong Loi gave him face. He needed the beggar's sect, and he couldn't let Hong that Song form a bad impression of him over the Chuanjian immortals. That would be losing the greater goal for a small gain. The beggar's sect was the world's #1 sect, with members everywhere. They were excellent for intelligence and didn't draw suspicion. Hong that Song's prestige far exceeded that of the Chuanjian 7. If he agreed to help, the fourth task would be much easier. Senior Hong, young Master Duong, shall we go inside to talk? Ma Nok invited, seeing Duong Loi back down. Fine, Duong Loi nodded. He had made his point, continuing to harass them would be beneath him. However, in the eyes of the Chuanjian 7, his generosity felt more like a calculated provocation. Once inside, Ma Nok ordered food to be served in a guest room to host the group. After eating and drinking their fill, Duong Loi realized he was finally at Mount Zhongnan and could pursue his primary goal, the upper volume of the Ninein manual in the ancient tomb. I wonder what Senior Hong's view of the world's current state is? Duong Loi asked Hong that Kong. To recruit Hong that Song, he needed to put in some effort, starting by understanding his perspective. This world, sigh. Hong that Song sighed. Our great song, sigh, corrupt officials rule the court. Exactly. The Song Emperor is merely a puppet, blinded by sycophants. Furthermore, he isn't a good ruler himself. The Song dynasty is rotten to the core, it's impossible to cure it at the root, Duong Loi stated. Little brother, we can say these words here, but if they spread, they will cause trouble. Although your martial arts are powerful, you cannot stop 10,000 soldiers alone, Hong that Song said, surprised by Duong Loi's bluntness. It doesn't matter, Duong Loi smiled and shook his head. Senior Hong, is what I said true? The Song dynasty is spent. If we want the people to live good lives, it's better to destroy and rebuild. It's like us martial artists, if the body reaches a limit, one must sometimes discard their old cultivation to reach a new, higher peak. Chapter 433, Recruiting the Beggar Sect. 1. Duong Loi's words made Hong that Song's eyes light up for a moment, but they quickly dimmed. That is easier said than done. One wrong move leads to total destruction. But there is still a chance, isn't there? Duong Loi smiled. Your starting point is noble, but have you considered the damage a failure would cause the people? How many would die? How many families would be shattered? How many would be homeless? Fields of corpses. It could even lead to the destruction of the Central Plains, Hong that Song said, having realized Duong Loi's ambition. Duong Loi didn't answer directly. Instead, he asked, how does Senior view the current Jin kingdom? Better than the Great Song, Hong that Song admitted. The Jin military was far superior. So, the greatest threat to the Song is the Jin? Duong Loi continued. Correct. Hong that Song nodded, confused. Then, what do you think of an alliance between the Song and the Mongols to deal with the Jin? If that truly happens, the Jin could be destroyed, and our Song could reclaim the 16 prefectures of Yan and Yun, Hong that Song said, though he looked surprised. Duong Loi chuckled. Senior, you are mistaken. Today, the Jin appear strong, but like the Liao before them, they are rotten. It is the Mongols to the north who are truly powerful, they are the true enemy of our Song. Hong that Song looked at Duong Loi in shock. This. Duong Loi ignored his shock and continued, the Jin and Song are mortal enemies, but we must look beyond the surface. If the Jin are destroyed by the Song-Mongol alliance, who will be stronger? Will the Mongols give up this chance? Mongols are born for war and are incredibly ruthless. They will strike deep into the heart of the Song, and we will not be able to stop them. The Zhao dynasty's end isn't the tragedy, it's the people of the Central Plains becoming Mongol prisoners. Given their nature, you can imagine the fate of our people. This, sigh. I have been too muddled, Hong that Song sighed. It is your era now. But I am curious, who could have raised a young genius like you? Duong Loi knew Hong that Song was moved. If he revealed a bit more now, recruiting him wouldn't be difficult. As for my origin, I can tell you, but you must promise not to reveal it. If you do, your life will be forfeit. No matter where you hide in this world, I can easily kill you, Duong Loi said seriously. This startled Hong Dat Kong. He was one of the 5 greats, a top-tier expert in the Central Plains. Very few could oppose him. But then he realized, the martial world was vast, and true experts might not care for fame. He felt a bit dejected, realizing he might have been like a frog in a well. Please enlighten me, young Master Duong? Hong Dat Song's tone changed, he no longer called him little brother. Duong Loi noticed the shift and smiled. Senior, there's no need for such formality. Just call me little brother as before. Hong Dat Song felt relieved. Then this old beggar will accept. Little brother. That's better, Duong Loi laughed. In truth, my background is a bit strange to you. How should I put it? I am not technically from this world. Duong Loi then produced a talisman from thin air. The talisman turned into a beam of white light and entered Hong Dat Song's body. Hong Dat Song felt an indescribable warmth and comfort. He felt as though he had de-aged by a decade, even his white hair and beard darkened slightly. This was a vitality talisman. It didn't help martial saints or young people, but for older martial artists below the martial god level whose vitality was waning, it was incredibly beneficial. Duong Loi had exchanged for it in the system long ago. This old beggar thanks you. I never expected, you are truly an immortal descended to the mortal realm. Hong Dat Song was agitated. Senior, you joke. I am no immortal, just someone with higher cultivation. There may be other hidden experts in your world as well. My goal this time is to complete a task, to establish a new nation, so the people no longer suffer from war. I only have 3 years. That is why I wanted your help. As the leader of the beggars sect with a great reputation and many disciples, your aid would make everything much smoother. Duong Loi's tone was sincere as he looked at Hong Dat Kong. Hong Dat Song thought for a long time before finally nodding. Fine. This old beggar agrees to help you. However, if you ask me to do anything against my conscience, I will refuse, even if you kill me. Chapter 434, Recruiting the Beggar Sect, 2, Duong Loi smiled. Securing Hong Dat Song's cooperation meant intelligence would be much easier to acquire. Senior, rest assured. I won't ask you to do anything immoral. For now, I just need you to gather information about the Song-Mongol alliance, the movements of corrupt officials, things like that. That's enough. Duong Loi had considered asking him to find orphans with good potential, but he only had 3 years. Training orphans would take too long. It was better to find existing soldiers and train them into an elite force. Martial artists were generally not suitable due to their lack of discipline. He needed a true army, highly disciplined and absolutely obedient. Even ordinary people with decent potential could be boosted with pills and taught a unified cultivation method and formation. Within 6 months, he could have an iron army. He also planned to mass-produce weapons, even firearms. An army equipped with such tools would sweep any battlefield. With this, he felt 3 years was plenty of time to conquer the land. What he lacked now was talent, administrators and generals. Among the current caste, Quach Tin could be a general, and Hong Dung was a brilliant strategist. He couldn't think of many others in this era who would fit. He didn't know Song history well, which was a minor drawback. That's good then, Hong Dat Song said, relieved. But could Senior do me one more favor? Duong Loi asked. Just say it. You are basically my lord now, Hong Dat Song replied. No need for that. I want you to help me convince the 7 immortals of Chuanjin. Hong Dat Song thought for a bit. That shouldn't be hard. Aren't you from the upper realm? Just show them some immortal arts and they'll surely agree. Duong Loi was surprised but realized it was a solid plan. I'll try that. If it works, the credit is yours. In a guest room of the Chuanjin sect, Ma Nok sat across from Duong Loi. I wonder why young Master Duong has come to find me? Monarch asked. To discuss a great matter. I want the Chuanjin sect to help me take over the land and establish a true dynasty, so the people no longer suffer, Duong Loi said directly. Monarch was shocked. He thought it was about martial arts, not rebellion. Young master, this is no joke. Our sect is a righteous path, how can we commit such high treason? Duong Loi had expected this. Taoist master, don't be nervous. Hear me out first. Fine. Speak. How is the Song dynasty currently? Duong Loi asked. Weak and troubled. Duong Loi shook his head. That's an understatement. It's rotten to the core. It's incurable. And the Mongols to the north are like a tiger watching its prey. What about the Jin? The Jin are no better than the Song. They are fading. Duong Loi paused. Both are our enemies, but the Mongols are more ruthless. If they invade, the consequences will be catastrophic. Even so, that is no reason for us to join you in rebellion, Monarch still refused. Do you really want to see the Central Plains in ruins? Or see the people exploited and murdered by corrupt officials? No matter what you say, I will not agree to lead the sect into rebellion. We are a righteous sect, we will not commit such acts. Monarch was firm. Duong Loi said, Clan leader Hong has already agreed to help me. Do you not trust his character? Or are you still bitter about our earlier confrontation? What? How is that possible? Monarch was stunned. Duong Loi didn't look like he was lying. If this was true, it was unbelievable. Hong Dat Song was a legendary hero known for his righteousness, why would he join a rebellion? If it were Western poison or Eastern heretic, it would be believable, but Northern beggar? Chapter 435, Toward the Ancient Tomb. Don't be so surprised. It is the truth. Young Master Duong, forgive my prying, but how did you convince clan leader Hong? Monarch asked. Duong Loi didn't speak. Instead, he took out an invisibility talisman. After crushing it, his figure instantly vanished before Monarch's eyes. This terrified Monarch. It was incredible, vanishing right in front of him. He jumped up in shock. Was he an immortal? A true cultivator? A moment later, Duong Loi reappeared in the same spot. You. Young Master Duong, what was that? Monarch asked, his voice trembling with excitement. Just a small invisibility talisman. I assume as a man of the Tao, you are familiar with such concepts? Duong Loi said with a smile. Monarch was speechless. This display was far more shocking than the news about Hong that Kong. It's nothing much. I showed Senior Hong a talisman as well. His body has been greatly rejuvenated now. Duong Loi continued, tell me, what do I gain by being an emperor? If I didn't want, well, you wouldn't understand. I will eventually leave this world. I just want to do something for the people. If your Chuanjin sect is unwilling, I won't force you. I shall take my leave. Duong Loi turned to leave without waiting for a response. Wait. Young Master Duong, wait. I accept your conditions. My Chuanjin sect is willing to help you take the land. Monarch shouted as he chased him. But when Monarch reached the door, Duong Loi had already vanished. Monarch felt a sense of loss. As a cultivator of the Tao, how could he pass up a chance to meet a legendary being or learn the path to immortality? He immediately went to find Hong Dat Song and the three ladies. Meanwhile, Duong Loi had already headed for the ancient tomb. A pool of water, that should be the place. After leaving the sect, Duong Loi went to the back of the mountain and found the pool mentioned in the stories. Without hesitation, he prepared to dive in, but a woman in white appeared. Who are you? Why do you intrude upon the ancient tomb? She threw out a white silk ribbon, attempting to bind Duong Loi. But Duong Loi's cultivation was far superior. She was only at the martial emperor level. He dodged the ribbon with a simple shift of his body. The woman was surprised but continued her relentless attack. After a few exchanges, she stopped, realizing she was no match for him. "Young lady, are you from the ancient tomb sect?" Looking at her, she seemed about 18 or 19. Duong Loi guessed she was the legendary Li Mok Sao. Only she would be this age, little dragon maiden would only be a child of 4 or 5, and their master would be in her late 30s. "How do you know?" "Humph, Li Mok Sao, won't tell you anything." "Are you one of those smelly Taoists from Chuanjin? If my master finds out, you're finished." At this time, Li Mok Sao was still innocent and cute, nothing like the red maiden of the future. Hilarious. "Why would I fear your master? Even if she came out, she'd be no match for me. Why should I be afraid? Also, I am not from the Chuanjin sect, so don't worry." Since he had met her, there was no need to sneak in. He could go through the front. He also planned to use the wealth hidden in the tomb. It was left by Wang Chongyang, who had once led resistance against the Jin. Such wealth was necessary for his mission of unifying the land. War required funds, provisions for the army. "Humph, you talk big. You're only slightly better than me. My master is much stronger. Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue?" Li Mok Sao huffed. "When she comes out, she'll knock your teeth out." "Haha. Young lady, you really are a frog in a well. Even if Wang Chongyang were alive, he wouldn't be my match." "Your master can't be stronger than him, can she?" Duong Loi laughed. Just then, another white-clad woman flew toward them at incredible speed. The ancient tomb sect's light body skills were indeed impressive, though still inferior to Duong Loi's flowing cloud body technique. This was likely Lam Lung, Li Mok Sao's master and former maid to Lam Truan. Duong Loi used his appraisal skill. Chapter 436, Forcing the Way in Lam Lung, 37 years old, early-stage martial saint. Sect, Ancient Tomb. Disciples, Li Mok Sao, Little Dragon Maiden. As expected, her cultivation was early-stage martial saint, which was quite high for this world. Such arrogance. "Let me see how powerful you really are." Lam Lung drew her sword and stabbed at Duong Loi. Duong Loi didn't engage directly, simply dodging her strikes. After several rounds, she couldn't even touch the hem of his robe. "You call yourself a man, yet you only know how to hide." Duong Loi found her temper amusing. She didn't seem to embody the calmness associated with her sect's martial arts. "Even if I don't dodge, you can't hurt me." "Senior, you should stop," Duong Loi said. "This is a misunderstanding. I came to the ancient tomb to discuss something." Lam Lung knew she was outmatched. Seeing him offer a graceful exit, she stopped, but she had no interest in his discussion. "No matter what it is, I won't agree. Leave. This is the ancient tomb, no outsider may enter." "I truly have important matters to discuss," Duong Loi insisted. "No matter how important, outsiders are forbidden. Give up." Lam Lung turned to Li Mok Sao. "Mok Sao, let's go." "Wait." Duong Loi flashed forward, blocking their path. He couldn't let them go that easily. "You, get out of the way." Lam Lung's face darkened. "Don't think that because you're stronger, you can do whatever you want. I have ways to deal with you." Duong Loi smiled. "I know what you're thinking. You're relying on your jade bees, right?" How do you know? Did those stinking Taoists tell you?" Lam Lung looked at him with suspicion. "No. I have nothing to do with Chuanjin. Wang Chongyang isn't even worthy of being my teacher." Duong Loi shook his head. "I came for 3 things. First, the wealth left by Wang Chongyang for military funds. Second, his Xian Tian Gong. And third, the Nining manual." He didn't bother hiding his intentions. He would even let them read the manual after he was done. The Xian Tian Gong and the Nining manual? Impossible. Lam Lung shook her head. She had lived here for over a decade and knew every corner. She had never seen such things. "Nothing is impossible. You just don't know about them," Duong Loi chuckled. Even if you drop the dragon closing stone, I can still enter. There's a secret tunnel through the water. I told you because I wanted to avoid a misunderstanding. Impossible. There is only the front entrance. Lam Lung grew more suspicious. You're trying to trick me into leading you inside, aren't you? If you think I'm that easily fooled, you underestimate me. I served my mistress for years, I've seen all types. In that case, forgive me. Duong Loi's figure blurred. In an instant, he was beside Lam Lung, seizing her pressure point and rendering her immobile. You villain. Let my master go, or I won't forgive you. Li Moxiao shouted. Don't worry, I won't kill her. I just need a few things. Duong Loi said, lead me to your ancestress's hall. Moxiao, don't do it. Don't listen to him. Lam Lung shouted. Duong Loi ignored her, giving her firm backside a playful pat. I don't mind. Going in myself. With his true eagle eye, the traps inside were like child's play to him. Lam Lung's body grew hot from the touch. She had lived in seclusion for years and had never been touched by a man. Duong Loi's masculine aura made her face flush. You, release me, you lecher. Duong Loi laughed. If you call me a lecher, I might as well act like one. It would be a waste not to, right? Chapter 437, 9 Manual Upper Volume, 1. With that, Duong Loi's large hand patted Lam Lung's backside again. You, don't move. I won't speak any more. Lam Lung's body trembled, her voice breathless. Duong Loi was surprised. He hadn't done much, yet she was already so sensitive? Her reaction stirred a heat within him. He took a deep breath and circulated the heart-icing art to suppress his desires. Lam Lung was in her late 30s but had a fantastic figure and skin as smooth as a young woman's. Senior Lam, if you keep moving, I won't be gentle. How do you know my surname? Did Moxiao tell you? I know everything about the ancient tomb. I even know what Thuong Thien has arranged for you. Humph, you probably heard it from the Chuanjin Taoists, Lam Lung huffed. No. Put me down. You're already inside, what more do you want? Once inside the tomb, Lam Lung couldn't take it anymore. She realized with a shock that she was almost enjoying being in his arms. No man is good. Wang Chongyang was proof. I cannot follow in my mistress's footsteps, she told herself. Fine, I'll put you down. But don't attack, or I'll be forced to retaliate. Fine, I won't. Lam Lung, keep my word. She glared at him. Mistress, who is he? A woman in her 50s looked at them in shock. Duong Loi released Lam Lung's pressure points. Her face turned red as she tried to explain, Granny Tun, it's not what you think. I know. It's a misunderstanding. I'll go make dinner, Granny Tun said, turning away with a hidden smile. She was happy for her mistress, a woman needed someone to rely on. It really is a misunderstanding. Lam Lung turned her frustration on Duong Loi. It's all your fault. How is it my fault? If you had just agreed earlier, this wouldn't have happened. Lam Lung was helpless. She couldn't beat him, but she still had the traps. As if reading her mind, Duong Loi said, don't try anything. I told you, these traps won't stop me. He walked over to a mechanism and opened a stone door with ease. How do you know that? Lam Lung was stunned. I told you, I know everything here. Don't play games, or you'll be the one to suffer. And as a man, I have nothing to lose, Duong Loi grinned. You're infuriating. Go find what you want and then get out. Master, who is he? A young girl, looking like a porcelain doll, walked over. Duong Loi's eyes widened. Is this little dragon maiden, even at this age, she was a beauty in the making. Longer, don't mind him. He's a stinking man, Lam Lung said crossly. A stinking man? Is he really a man? Little dragon maiden asked curiously. Duong Loi smiled. Yes, I am a man, but not a stinking one. Smell me, I smell better than your master. She's the stinking one. You. You're a bad person, humph. The girl wrinkled her nose. I won't talk to you. Duong Loi laughed. If you come with me, I have something nice for you. He produced a necklace he had crafted. It was made with top-tier materials and a monster core, sparkling brilliantly. So pretty. All three women, Lam Lung, Li Mok Sao, and the girl, stared at it. Well, little longer, if you come with big brother, this is yours. I have many more treasures. Bastard. You rogue. Find your things and leave. Lam Lung was shaking with anger. She wanted the necklace too, but her pride wouldn't allow it. She pulled the girl away. Longer, don't listen to him. He's a big bad man who will eat you up. Chapter 438, 19 Manual Upper Volume, 2, Duong Loi was speechless. Sigh. I was going to give one to someone special, but since they don't want it. He walked further in. Lam Lung, like any woman, was drawn to beautiful jewelry, but she wouldn't yield. She left the girl with Li Mok Sao and followed Duong Loi. So you followed me? I thought you wouldn't, Duong Loi laughed. Humph, move faster. I want to see if this Xian Tiangong and Nining manual actually exist. I've been here for years and never saw them. Duong Loi eventually reached a chamber with several stone coffins. Why are you here? Lam Lung was anxious. Don't do anything reckless. Relax. Duong Loi moved to the coffin that would eventually belong to Little Dragon Maiden and lifted the lid. You. Look, Wang Chongyang left these. He returned here after Lam Truan died. Impossible. You're lying. He swore never to enter again. See for yourself. Duong Loi pointed to the writing on the lid. It's real. That bastard Wang Chongyang really left a secret path. Lam Lung cursed him in her heart. Let's go down and see the Nining manual. Duong Loi opened a secret mechanism and descended. A secret passage, and the Nining manual. Duong Loi scanned the text, memorizing it instantly. The manual wasn't originally his. Your mistress was truly formidable. Also, the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra wasn't just to counter Chuanjin martial arts, it was meant to be practiced with it. Only together do they form a truly supreme sword art. Wang Chongyang was lucky to have someone as devoted as your mistress, yet he didn't treasure her. If it were me, I would have taken her as my wife immediately. You bastard. Lam Lung was furious at his perceived disrespect toward her mistress. Don't attack, you'll lose. Duong Loi caught her hand. Let me go. Lam Lung bit his wrist. Ow. Are you a dog? Duong Loi's iron cloth was at the great circle stage, but he hadn't expected her to bite. Let me go, or I'll bite you to death. She was like a cornered lioness. Enough. Duong Loi flipped her over and delivered several firm swats to her backside. Bastard. Rogue. Shameless. Degenerate. Lam Lung struggled and cursed, but her vocabulary was limited. Duong Loi realized that pain wouldn't make her yield, so he changed tactics, his hand lingering on her soft curves. This sent a shiver through her. What are you doing? Don't. I'll never forgive you. You didn't listen. You bit me. I have to get some face back, don't I? If you keep moving, who knows what will happen? I'm a young man, and you're quite attractive. If things go too far, you'll be the one losing out. You wouldn't dare. Lam Lung was scared. This youth was unpredictable. If I'm right, this is another secret chamber, Duong Loi said, having spotted a hidden room behind a portrait of Lam Truan using his true eagle eye. Behind there? Lam Lung asked. You're not lying? I have no reason to. There's wealth hidden there for my army. I won't have to worry about funds anymore. Duong Loi tapped a stone 3 times, and the door creaked open. How do you know all this? Did he leave a map? No. Duong Loi didn't explain. This was his secret. Chapter 439, Lam Lung's excitement. If you won't say, then don't. I'll get you back sooner or later. Lam Lung pushed him aside and walked in. I'll be waiting. But unless you master the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra and pair it with the 9 Manual's inner strength, you have no chance. And since you don't have someone you love to practice the sword art with, your chances are 0. Inside the chamber, Lam Lung ignored the chests of gold and silver. Her eyes lit up at the jewels, but they were inferior to the necklace he had shown earlier. Duong Loi looked around. Wait, he spotted something strange, a formation. A teleportation array. This world was more complex than he thought. A teleportation array suggested the existence of experts beyond the martial god or even profound stage. He didn't know where it led, so he wouldn't touch it until his missions were complete. What is that? Lam Lung asked. Nothing. Don't go near it. Duong Loi pulled her back. Let me go. Fine. But there are dangerous traps here. One wrong move and you're dead. He didn't know if Wang Chongyang or someone else placed them, but they were beyond her level. Liar. She didn't believe him. Do you want me to swat you again? She flinched. The memory of the sting was still fresh. Duong Loi chuckled. Asterisk, is she falling for me? I'm not here for romance, yet beauties keep appearing, asterisk, he thought arrogantly. He set up a simple formation around the array to keep her away. Only a peak martial saint could break it. What are you doing now? You wouldn't understand. I have the manual and the wealth. My task here is done. It's time to leave. Duong Loi waved his hand, and the chests vanished. What sorcery is this? Lam Lung gasped. It's just a storage ring. It's common where I come from. Where you come from? You're not from this world? Indeed. I am an immortal descended to build a great empire and save the people. If you flatter me, maybe I'll help you. Can you really help me? Anything? Lam Lung grabbed his hand excitedly. Duong Loi was awkward. Her soft chest was pressed against his arm. Does she really think I'm an immortal? Could you let go? No. If you help me, I'll do anything. I'll even serve you. Or even mock Cao, if you want. Duong Loi's head spun. That was a tempting offer, but what could she want so desperately? Chapter 440, Lam Truan. It had to be about Lam Truan. But she was dead, wasn't she? Did she want him to resurrect her? He couldn't do that, he was a fake immortal. You really think I can do anything? I was just joking. No. I know you can. You made all that gold disappear. She was desperate. Sigh. I'll do my best. If it's within my power, I'll help. I did take wealth and a manual from here, after all. I knew it. Come with me. They returned to the main chamber. Duong Loi was worried. If she wants me to bring her back to life, I'm screwed. My mistress isn't dead. She's in a state of suspended animation. Lam Lung moved to the large, cold stone coffin in the center. She opened it to reveal a crystal coffin inside. Within it lay a beautiful woman who looked to be in her 20s, her skin pale and her features exquisite. Is this Lam Truan? A true beauty. Wang Chongyang was a fool to ignore her. She is indeed. Please, save her. Duong Loi used his appraisal skill. Lam Truan, late-stage martial saint. Age, 39. Sect, Tianshan. Status, comatose, near death due to a severed heart meridian. A severed heart meridian, in this world, that was a death sentence. Chapter 441, Rescuing the Fairy in the Sungbu continent. This would be manageable, but here it was nearly impossible. She hasn't breathed for years. Is she really still alive? Duong Loi asked. She is. The ice coffin preserves her body. Her inner strength is still there, just suppressed. Only an immortal can save her. Duong Loi looked at the system store. He found a heavenly heart pill for 10 billion points. It could repair meridians and restore life force. Fine. I'll try. He produced the pill and placed it in Lam Truan's mouth. Then he circulated his true qi to help her absorb it. Hours passed. Slowly, her breathing returned, and color touched her cheeks. Lam Lung was crying with joy. She's breathing. Mistress is alive. Lam Truan's eyes fluttered open. She looked confused. Lunger? Where am I? Did I die? No, mistress. This immortal saved you. Lam Truan looked at Duong Loi. Who are you? I am Duong Loi. I came seeking the Nining manual and found you instead. Thank you, for saving my life. Duong Loi felt a sense of accomplishment. Saving a legendary figure was quite satisfying. Chapter 442, Cultivating the Nining Manual, 2, Ma Nok was thrilled to help. He would coordinate with Hong Dat Song to handle the propaganda for Duong Loi's new empire. Duong Loi had entrusted this to the Chuanjin sect as a test of their loyalty. Their loyalty was around 70%, which was acceptable. Hong Dat Song was at 80%. Back in his room, Duong Loi checked on Hong Dung and Muk Mien Tu's progress. After giving them some pointers, he opened the system. Ding! Player has successfully obtained the full Nining manual. Main quest 2 complete. Reward, 50 billion EXP, 5 billion points, and the right to cultivate the manual. Ding! Would the player like to cultivate the Nining manual? Cultivate. Ding! Congratulations, player has learned the Nining manual, level 2. A surge of energy entered his dantian. The manual's energy began to pull at the yin-yang qi he had obtained previously. The ancient, dormant qi began to stir. Normally, this qi only moved when reaching the profound or yin-yang stage. Duong Loi had it early, which would make his future breakthroughs easier. But the balance was disrupted. The yin energy from the manual was too strong. The yin and yang began to clash violently. His body felt like it was being forged in a furnace one moment and frozen in an abyss the next. Blood leaked from his mouth. Damn this system for not warning me, he cursed. He tried to suppress it with the Great Origin art, but it wasn't enough. He circulated everything, hard icing art, iron cloth, everything. The clash shattered his meridians. After what felt like an eternity, he opened his eyes. He was in terrible shape. Fortunately, he had recovery pills. He would need 3 or 4 days to fully recover. Leveling up to Martial God Rank 2 would also fix it, but he needed a trillion EXP. He was still short about 100 billion. Then he remembered, the reward for defeating the 5 greats was 100 billion EXP. Chapter 443, 2 Beauty's Devotion. That would be enough to reach rank 2. Defeating them would be easy if he used talismans, but he wanted to win fairly once he recovered. The only wild card was Wang Chongyang. If he was a martial god and Duong Loi couldn't use his best skills, it might be tough. He also realized he needed the Nine-Yang manual to restore the balance in his body. He opened his door to find Hong Dung and Muk Mien Tu waiting. Duong Xie, you've been in there for a day and a night. Hong Dung said, relieved. Really? It felt like only a moment. We were so worried, Muk Mien Tu added. Duong Loi noticed Muk Mien Tu called Hong Dung sister. Why the change in address? Don't look at us like that. Hong Dung blushed. It's because Dunger was with you first, Muk Mien Tu explained softly. Hong Dat Song and the Chuanjin leaders arrived. Lord, are you all right? Cao Su Ko asked. They had officially accepted Duong Loi as their leader. I'm fine. Just a long session. Have the preparations begun? The sect leader has sent disciples to start the work, Cao Su Ko reported. Good. In 3 months, I will go to the Song Palace. I expect everything to be ready by then. The palace? Are you going to attack? No, just an investigation. Also, tell Monarch to use the talismans I gave him to win over the people. I'll teach a few of you how to make them later, though it's difficult. After the others left, Duan Loi invited the two girls to his room. Why does Neem Tu call you sister when she's older? Duan Loi teased. You're so bad. Hong Dung pouted. After some talk, Hong Dung asked seriously, Duan Xie, what do you really feel for us? We know you will be an emperor and have many women, but where do we stand? Duan Loi sighed. It was time to tell them everything. I am not from this world. I have a mission to unify this land in 3 years. After that, I must leave. I love you both, but I worry if I can take you with me. I don't want to ruin your lives. We don't care. We want to be with you regardless of what happens, the two girls said in unison. Duan Loi pulled them into a hug. I'll find a way to take you with me. If not, I'll find a way to come back. I'll even conquer the system if I have to. We believe you. Good. Practice hard. Here is the full 9 manual. With this and my pills, you'll be able to defeat the 5 greats within a year. The girls were deeply moved. The manual was a legendary treasure that people killed for, yet he gave it to them without hesitation. Chapter 444, Adopting an Elder Sister. 1. You're my women, what's mine is yours, Duan Loi said warmly. He left the sect and went back to the ancient tomb. He found Li Moxiao practicing with Lam Truan. Lam Truan was still weak, but her senses were sharp. Who is there? Duan Loi stepped out. It's me. The big lecher. Li Moxiao shouted. I recognize your aura. You saved me, Lam Truan said with a smile. Thank you. Senior, though calling you that makes you sound old. You look like you're in your 20s, Duan Loi joked. You have a sweet tongue. I'd love to have a younger brother like you, she replied. No. If she's your sister, then I have to call you Grandmaster. I won't do it. Li Moxiao protested. Haha. Duan Loi and Lam Truan laughed. I'll call you Sister An. How is your recovery? I'm fine, just weak. Thank you, little Loi. Li Moxiao attacked him in a fit of pique. Duan Loi caught her sword with 2 fingers. Let go. He laughed and released it, causing her to stumble. I'll kill you. Moxiao, enough. Lam Truan scolded. Sister An, I have 2 questions for you, Duan Loi said. Chapter 445, Adopting an Elder Sister. 2. Ask away. First, do you know about the teleportation array in the tomb? I know it's there, but I don't know where it leads. Even Wang Chongyang didn't know. I see. Duan Loi was disappointed. Second, do you know where Wang Chongyang is? It's important for my mission. Lam Truan looked bitter. I don't know exactly, but he's not dead. He was too powerful to die easily. I suspect he is in the Song Palace. The palace? Why would a Taoist be there? Lam Truan produced a yellowed book. This is his Xian Tiangong. He gave it to me for safekeeping. Read it, and you'll understand. Chapter 446, Xian Tiangong or Sunflower Manual? Duan Loi opened the book. The first sentence shocked him. To practice this art, one must first castrate oneself. This isn't Xian Tiangong, this is the Sunflower Manual. No wonder she looked bitter. Wang Chongyang couldn't marry her because he was basically a eunuch. The system pinged, ding. System has detected a supreme yang art, Xian Tian Pure Yang Art, Volume 1. Would you like to cultivate? It was the pure yang version, and the system didn't require self-castration. This was perfect to balance the 9 energy. Cultivate. Ding. Congratulations, player has learned Xian Tian Pure Yang Art, Volume 1, Level 2. The yang energy flowed into his Dan Tian, balancing with the yin. His cultivation felt even more solid. Little Loy, are you okay? Lam Truan was worried. I'm fine. This art is incredible. It helped me break through. You practiced it? Are you still a man? She asked hesitantly. Haha. Don't worry, Sister On. I'm still a man. The requirement to castrate is only for those who can't handle the heat. I have energy to balance it. She blushed. I see. This art is even more powerful than the Nining manual, Duan Loy noted. Chapter 447, Lam Truan's storage ring. He still wanted to visit Shaolin for the golden bell shield and indestructible diamond body. You scared me. If anything happened to you because of me, I'd never forgive myself, she said, patting her chest. Thank you, sister. By the way, how did you get that heart injury? Sigh, it's a long story from many years ago. It doesn't matter now. Sister, I have to leave soon. Time is short. Wait, I have something for you. She produced a purple sandalwood box. Inside was a ring. This is a storage ring from my sect. It has 10,000 cubic meters of space. It cannot hold living things. A storage ring? Duan Loy was stunned. 10,000 cubic meters was massive, even by the standards of his original world. Take it. My life is worth more than this treasure. Sister, I can't. I already have one. He showed her his own storage space by making 2 smaller rings appear. I can even make these myself. She was amazed. You can craft these? Indeed. I am not from this world. I'm here to unify it and defeat the 5 greats. Then I must leave. Are you an immortal? Not exactly, just a powerful cultivator. There are many worlds and dimensions out there. This storage ring probably fell from a higher realm. Chapter 448, Iron Palm floating on water. If your rings are better, keep mine for your disciples. I'll take these 2 small ones, she said. Duan Loy gave her the rings. He decided to head for the Iron Palm sect, via Chuang Bang, to find the Wumu Testament, Vu Muk Di Thursday, left by Yu Fei. It was essential for training his army. He also wanted to see if Hong That Song had found Quach Tin. 3 days later, Duan Loy, Hong Dung, Muk Nim Tu, and Mai Siu Fong arrived at the Iron Palm sect's territory. Lam Truan had stayed behind to settle some matters, but she gave Duan Loy a letter and a jade hairpin to give to Wang Chongyang if he found him. Where is the testament? Hong Dung asked. The sect was well defended, led by Chiu Qianren, Q Tien Nan, whose iron palm was famous. Duan Loy used his true eagle eye and found Chiu Qianren practicing his iron palm. His cultivation was likely late stage or peak martial saint. Let's go in, Duan Loy said. He didn't want to kill the disciples, he wanted to recruit them for his future army. Hong Dung and the others fought their way in. 10 minutes later, Chiu Qianren emerged. Who dares intrude? His voice boomed with inner strength. I am Duan Loy. I came for 2 things, to recruit you and to take the Wumu Testament, Duan Loy said bluntly. Ha ha ha. A brat like you? You talk big. Arrogant. Dunger, Nim Tu, Meyer, go show him what you've got. I'll watch over you. Chapter 449, Testing the Poison. 1. The 3 women attacked. Hong Dung used peach blossom sword arts, Mai Siu Feng used her whip and Nining bone claw, and Muk Nim Tu used the floating palm with silk gloves Duan Loy had given her. Chiu Qianren was forced back. He was surprised by their strength. He decided to use his iron palm's brute force against Muk Nim Tuesday. You dare. Duan Loy flicked a stone with enough power to kill. Chiu Qianren had to dodge, and the stone shattered a tree behind him. Flicking finger art? Are you related to Hong Duoxu? I am his son-in-law. Since you tried to hurt my woman, I'll teach you a lesson. Duan Loy moved like a ghost, appearing before Chiu in an instant. He used his eagle claw art. Chiu tried to block with his iron palm. Crack, his fingers were shattered. He retreated, howling in pain. Duong Loi's iron cloth made his body like steel. You have two choices, submit or suffer. Never. Humph, we'll see. Duong Loi used a fixed body talisman, then forced a pill down Chio's throat. It was called dreamlike illusion, a poison from the poison manual he had found. Chapter 450, Testing the Poison, 2, What did you give me? The poison first sent Chio into a blissful dream, but soon it turned into a nightmare of intense itching and pain that felt like it was in his very marrow. He rolled on the ground, clawing at his own skin until he bled. Kill me. Just kill me, he screamed. After 10 minutes, the effect subsided. Duong Loi used a recovery talisman to heal his wounds and broken fingers. Well? Ready to submit? I'll do anything. Just don't give me that again. The iron palm was now a broken man. He realized Duong Loi was either an immortal or a demon. Chapter 451, Wumu Testament Good. You'll stay in charge of the Iron Palm sect, but you work for me now. Call me Lord. Yes, Lord. Xiao bowed low. Now, take me to the Wumu Testament. They went to a secret cave on the peak. Duong Loi found the book. Ding. Congratulations, player has obtained the Wumu Testament. Would you like to learn? Learn. Ding. Congratulations, player has learned the Wumu Testament. Gain skill, morale surge. Morale surge, increases army morale and combat power by 33%. Note, only works with 100 plus soldiers. This was perfect. Duong Loi gave the book to Hong Dung and Muk Meme Tuesday. You two will be my generals. Learn this well. Chapter 452, On Lake Tai. Duong Loi gave Chio Qianren some pills and a list of tasks. Keep an eye on Hon Nan Hong Leet. If he moves, let me know. The group then headed toward Lake Tai, Hu. Duong Loi wanted to visit Guiyun Manor, Kui Van Trang. He knew the manor belonged to Lu Chungfeng, a former disciple of Hong Duok Su whose legs had been crippled years ago. I can heal his legs and my Siu Feng's eyes, Duong Loi told them. They arrived at Lake Tai. The water was pristine, unlike the polluted version in Duong Loi's original time. Look, that's Guiyun Manor. It's protected by a formation, but it's a simple version of the one on Peach Blossom Island. Chapter 453, Inside Guiyun Manor, 1, The manor was busy. The 7 freaks of Jiangnan were there. Duong Loi spotted a man in a green robe and a mask. Hong Duoksu was already there. Who are you? Guards asked. Duong Loi ignored them, walking straight into the hall. I am Duong Loi. These are my wives, Hong Dung and Muk Meme Tuesday. And this is my Siu Feng. My Siu Feng. You dare come here? Lu Chungfeng shouted. He hated her for getting the disciples expelled from Peach Blossom Island. Lu Shixiang. I am Hong Dung, your master's daughter. Duong Xie can heal your legs. Lu Chungfeng was shocked. He looked at Hong Dung, she was the image of his late mistress. Meanwhile, the 7 freaks of Jiangnan were furious. My Siu Feng, today you die. Ka Tran Ac shouted. Duong Loi was annoyed by the freaks. Shut up. If you weren't Quach Tin's teachers, I would have killed you already. Chu Thong insulted Duong Loi. In a flash, Duong Loi slapped him across the face, sending him flying and knocking out several teeth. Chapter 454, Inside Guiyun Manor, 2, One more word and you're dead, Duong Loi warned. The 7 freaks decided to leave, realizing they were no match for Duong Loi or the now-sighted My Siu Feng. Then, a man who looked exactly like Chio Qianren walked in. Chio Qiantang, the fraud twin. Chapter 455, The fraud. Chio Qiantang started performing miracles, crushing bricks, made of flour, and drilling into teacups, using a hidden diamond. He claimed the Jin were destined to win and everyone should surrender. Hong Dung saw through him immediately. Let me try. She beat him up easily. Wait. I have news, the fraud screamed as Lu Quanon, Lu Qingfeng's son, moved to kill him. Your master, Eastern heretic Hong Duoxu, he's dead,